Hey everyone, welcome back.
What's up?
John Crom, my beautiful wife Shannon, and this is What's Happening Central Oregon, the official podcast.
Official.
Well, we've been blowing up on Instagram lately because we started an Instagram channel based on this, where we just talk about what's happening in Central Oregon, and that's been blowing up. So maybe at some point people will actually listen to the podcast.
Oh, hey.
Basically, it's just a long form of what we do on the short form.
Yeah.
And we get to have a little discussion.
People do listen to the podcast.
No, of course they do.
But you can also check it out on the Instagram too.
Yeah, the What's Happening in Central Oregon Instagram is doing really good right now, and people are liking it because we are bringing you, we're bringing you projects and updates and stuff that are important, that are fun, that people want to know about, and we're breaking some news. That's kind of fun too.
Well, it's more entertaining than the news too, because you don't want to listen to all of the sad stuff they talk about on the news. You just need the facts,
the good stuff.
What's happening?
What's happening? Okay, so we've got some stories for you today. Everybody, welcome in, subscribe, and if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe and like if you're popping in here, and if you're on I don't know, Spotify. Is there a like button on Spotify? I don't even know.
Ooh,
do the things. Today we are going to talk about some really difficult. Well, one thing in particular is really kind of difficult to explain. And I'm going to do my best to explain that to the best of my knowledge. A lot of people don't really know how this works. We're gonna dive in deep on TIFs and what they mean for development and future development here in Bend. But we're also going to talk a little bit about a couple other things. The increased sensitivity on the power shutoff.
Ooh.
Pacific Power.
That's a hot button topic.
It's kind of pissing people off. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Bend Whitewater Park is going to be closing soon.
Oh, well, probably not during the summer.
Not really. That was a little bit of a tease. That's a little bit of an inflammatory comment just to try to get people's interest. It's not really going to close soon, but they are preparing to do some renovations to it. We've got lots of developments that we're going to talk about today. Down south, over on the east side. Jackstraw's got a couple of new tenants coming in. That's coming along. So yeah, we're going to talk into whole kinds of things, all kinds of stuff like that. And if we have time at the end, we'll pop in. We've got some small business news to talk about. We'll get into some of that. Lots of great stuff. So let's go ahead and kick things off first with...
Let's dive right in. Where are we going?
Well, we could probably talk right about the Whitewater Park.
Let's
jump into the Whitewater Park. So the after 10 years after opening, the Bend's Whitewater Park is now due for repairs. So the Deschutes River Safe Water Passage, which they used to call it, the Safe Water Passage, which was never safe.
No, it had bust your butt rock.
It had bust your butt rock. That first drop as you came into the 13 little pools on the left side of the river.
First
if you know about that. The first one, boom, coming right out from underneath that bridge, there was a butt buster right underneath there.
Yeah, if you don't pick up your butt on your tube, man.
That hurt. That hurt a lot of people. They've since gotten rid of that. But so now it's called the Bend Whitewater Park. It's not called the Safe Water Passage.
Yeah, it's use at your own risk passage.
Yeah, use at your own risk passage. So, but look, it is truly something that has put Bend on the map. It is a great, amazing amenity here, and something that people use all day long. We were driving by there 2 days ago, and gosh, there was thousands of people.
Oh my gosh, thousands of people. I mean, it is very unique, and it's very entertaining to watch. It doesn't matter what season it is. I mean, there's snow everywhere and there's people surfing.
Yeah.
I mean, that is very cool for Bend in general, and also and it's entertaining by all. I mean, to see, watch it, or if you're surfing it, which I don't think I would ever surf.
Oh, come on.
I wouldn't start there. I don't think.
I think that's probably the easiest way to start.
You think?
If somebody said, hey, John, I'll take you out there, put you on a surfboard, it'll be fine, and it was a 90-degree day, I do. It'd have to be a 90-degree day. I would not do it on a 60-degree day.
And everything was perfect.
I wouldn't even do it on a 80-degree day. It'd have to be a 90-degree day because I am a wuss when it comes to cold water. I say that, but I'm not really, because I go fishing all the time and I wet wade. Anyway, okay. It's due for repairs. It's been around for 10 years. The river has been grinding on their system for 10 years. without fail.
So I'm assuming it's the bladders that need repair in there. Because...
Actually, and that was so I got a little confession to make. I'll take an article and I'll ask ChatGPT to summarize it for me. And it'll summarize it for me, but it's not always right.
Oh.
So now I'll take the summary that ChatGPT gave me and I'll run it through a different GPT. I'll run it through like Grok or something like that and say, hey, is this right? And it'll fact check it'll fact check the other AI.
Oh.
So I put this article in and it was like, oh yeah, they're gonna fully redo the bladders and everything and blah blah blah. And Grok was like, no, they're not. No, it's really they have to make some repairs, some maintenance, some upgrades to things, but they're not actually the pneumatic bladder system that actually creates that wave. They're not going to redo that. That's fine. So I think it's just a lot about the erosion and the stuff that, like, you know, the pools have changed because of water erosion and because the rocks moving. Yeah, and people. And so they're gonna change some of that up so that the waves are a little bit more predictable. And so that you can just kind of maybe splash and giggle your way through and not end up getting dumped as often, which is a bummer because I love it when people get dumped. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Do they say when they're going to shut it down?
Yeah, they're super. Thank you for asking. They're not touching this for a while.
Yeah.
I would suspect that this is probably going to be at the end of next summer, not even this summer, because they're just in the initial planning phase.
Yeah.
So again, we've got a thing we're going to put on the Instagram talking about this, and we're going to talk about, you know, of course I put an inflammatory line there, like Bend Whitewater Park's closed, but it's not really going to be closed for a while. So this is a ways off, and it's scheduled. I think it's going to be $5 to $12 million.
Oh my gosh!
In repairs, in refurbishment. So I think that's the idea. But again, look, this is a super cool thing. So let us know what your...
It is very unique and it's wonderful to have.
Yes. It is a lot of money. So let us know your take. Drop your comments down below. Is this ridiculous, or is this something that's genuinely a treasure for Bend and something that we should continue to invest money in? So, okay, moving on. That's the story in the Whitewater Park. Let's move on to something that has been that has honestly been bothering us recently.
Oh.
And we did a story 2 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago on the Pacific Power said that they were going to increase the sensitivity on their kind of automatic shutoff features for the power. So if there is a storm, if there is branches or whatever that are touching power lines, or even wildlife that gets near, you know, squirrels crossing the line, or there's a transformer there, that they're going to kill it. And
they're going to kill the power, not the squirrel.
Not the squirrel.
Yeah.
They're going to kill the they're going to kill the power.
Yeah.
This is interesting. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, and it's all in the...
You brought this up in one of our podcasts, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And literally, like, the very next day, power shut off in the middle of the day. The power has shut off, like, oh my gosh, I feel like 5 times on the northeast side of town.
Yes.
And I mean, you have to reset all the clocks. You have to, you know, and then they give you this text message that's saying that the power will come back on like 12 hours later. And it comes back on like within like 30 minutes to an hour. But still, like, when you think about it, in like 12 hours, I immediately start thinking, don't open the fridge, don't open the freezers, like that kind of stuff, because...
It went out on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
I mean, thank goodness we had fireworks. We were walking through the house with sparklers, but no, I'm just kidding. But it's just one of those things. It's like, it sounds great to prevent wildfires. We don't want, we don't want power lines sparking anything. Of course we don't. But it seems like
it's very sensitive.
It seems like they turned the dial way up, and now they're getting pushback, and now people are complaining like crazy. And so now power, Pacific Power is going, whoa, okay, well, maybe we, So I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but this is too much. This is too far. There wasn't any weather over on the 4th of July.
No.
There wasn't windstorm coming through. It was a hot day. It wasn't even a hot day. It wasn't even like a really hot day on the 4th of July. It was kind of like one of those cool days.
80.
And I don't really know why it went off.
I feel like they turned it off like right before the Butte fireworks were about ready to go off.
That's what it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was
And
9 o'clock, something like that. It went off
Yeah.
for an hour, 2 hours.
I mean, it made it so you could see the fireworks really well.
Yeah. You know what? That's a great segue. Let's go ahead and talk about light pollution.
Let's do that.
Let's talk about light pollution. I wasn't even really planning to bring this up, but Deschutes County is actually planning to look at some of these sources of light pollution. Let's see if I pull it up right here. Deschutes County Planning Commission sets public hearing on proposed changes to outdoor lighting rules. So remember we talked about Sisters becoming a dark sky friendly city, their recognized dark sky friendly thing. Well, now I think Deschutes County is getting FOMO. So like, you know what, maybe we should look at, light pollution and stuff. So the proposed amendments include that they're going to bring up here for the county outdoor lighting ordinance include simplifying the code to support responsible lighting practices. I'm not really sure what all that means. Updating terminology to better reflect current lighting fixtures. Okay. Utilizing the guiding principles of Dark Sky International. Oh, well, there you go. Which offer best practices for responsible lighting, and then clarifying types of facilities and lighting fixtures that are exempt. Okay, so this is great. Again, Deschutes County is feeling FOMO. They're like, hey, we have a really incredible resource here with, with how rural we are and being able to see the stars. I mean, come on, it's beautiful out, right?
Oh, 100%. And there's certain areas that is like, I've heard from multiple people that we've sold homes to in like Northwest Crossing in the middle of the night. It is so dark up there.
Yeah.
And, you can see the sky. It's beautiful. And there's not a lot of light pollution and stuff. I mean, sure.
I don't really mind it. It's one of those things that, like, of all the things that somebody wants to regulate on, I'm like, I'm okay with that. Like, sure, let's keep it dark.
Yeah. It makes me think of all the purple lights at the roundabouts.
Oh my gosh, those purple lights. People wonder about that. And here's what if you're wondering about that, here's what I think happened. And I may have heard this. I can't remember if I heard this or not.
Don't fact check this.
Don't fact check. This could be totally wrong, but this is my assumption, and this is what I might have heard.
I heard, I'll say what I heard.
Okay, you go first.
Somebody ordered the wrong light bulbs.
Yeah, they ordered a whole, like the city maintenance department, utilities, whatever, maintenance. They ordered a whole load of the wrong light bulbs.
Yeah, and they came out like, I think they're purple or maybe they're a blue, but they look purple at night. Yeah,
totally.
And so all of the roundabouts, the lights are like shining down and it's purple.
Yes.
Which is,
it's just different.
It's different because you'll have a white one and then a purple one, a white one and exactly. It's hilarious.
So the lighting ordinance of Deschutes County Planning Commission is having their public hearing on Thursday, July 10th. So you have like 2 days to get there if you want to go and you want to voice your opinion about the lighting ordinance. So that's important to know. If that's your jam, you're the kind of guy that likes to go there and do that, or gal. All right, next up. Here's the big kind of one that I wanted to touch on that might take a little bit to explain to everybody. This is, let's see, let's go into pull up the article here. Bend tax rebates for housing nearly $100 million. Over the next several decades, the city of Bend is set to make a $96 million investment in multi-family housing. Now, what this is talking about are TIFs, where it's let's see right here, tax increment financing. This is a very complicated idea. This is where the Bend is going to take some of the taxes that are raised by a property development and give it to the developers kind of ahead of time of those projects. So it kind of works. Let me pull this up, pull us back up. Kind of works like this. There are a bunch of different districts. Oh no, I'm going to go back to this actually. City of Bend has identified a few different areas to establish these TIFs. These
are like the urban renewal areas.
They are. They're exactly. So there's the core area tax increment TIF, tax increment financing. There's a core area here, and you can see on the map. There's a map. There is a map. Here it is. This is basically all along 3rd Street, between 3rd Street and the Parkway. So all of this area here, even back on Greenwood. This is one of the TIF areas. There's also Juniper Ridge, which is, this has been going on for a while. This is Juniper Ridge. This is where their new city utilities department is going to be, headquarters is going to be. But there's also right up in this area, right in here, right? So looks like the mall area, where the new Costco is going, I should say. This is kind of one of those areas as well. And then, of course, Murphy Crossing Urban Renewal Area. These are the areas.
Murphy Crossing. So is that by the new bridge?
This is down south, right here. This is that Murphy. This is the this is the bridge. Well, this
Alpenglow Park.
No. That's over this way a little bit more, but this is right in there. This is
where I know where that's at. Okay, the Walmart,
Albertsons is right
all
there,
that,
Walmart,
and then it goes south. Got
exactly. It. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So these are the three areas that they're talking about doing these TIFs in, and here's the way a TIF works. Let's say it's talking about frozen tax base here, TIF expiration, or whatever. We'll get into this in a second. Let's just say you've got this chunk of land, right? I'll go back to us. Let's just say you've got this chunk of land and there's nothing on it, or there's a house or an old building that needs to be, and they're gonna, but it'll say it's an acre, and with an acre, you can put up this big multiplex, or 2 acres, whatever it is. The tax base for that chunk of land as is like, maybe let's just say it's $3,000 a year. Okay, just like a normal house, kind of whatever, like $3,000 a year for taxes. That's what it's currently bringing in. Well, the city of Bend says this is a TIF area, so that $3,000 will always continue to come in. But when they build this, when they erect this massive 24-unit apartment complex or whatever it is, there's going to be a lot. If let's just say you're building 24 condos, they're all going to sell for $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 a piece, even if they're affordable, whatever they are. And that's the idea behind this. Has got to be affordable housing. 15% of them has to be reserved for affordable housing. But you take one $3,000 tax basis and you turn it into 24 $3,000 to $4,000 tax bases. Well, those extra taxes that are raised are what goes into funding helping the developers basically fund this project in the first place.
So they're going to give you that prepaid taxes on what it's going to be at the end.
Yeah.
And help you in the
They're
front.
They're using that money as a rebate to give it back to you.
Okay.
So
every year?
Well, it's a 30-year thing.
Oh, okay.
It's a 30-year thing. So for 30 years, they're grabbing this money and they're using it to help the developer fund the project from the beginning. And I think it's a little, and that's part of what I don't quite understand.
Yeah.
I think the developer comes in with all the money up front, and then the city kind of pays them back from the TIFs after it's established and going.
Very interesting topic.
Yeah, right? Different.
Yeah. And if we explained it wrong, we apologize. But
exactly. That's my understanding.
I think this is great, though, because it's bringing people into these areas to beautify it and bring more infrastructure and all that kind of stuff in. So it's
according to the article that was that we brought up here, it was done by the Bulletin. There are a lot of developments. There's 1,300 homes that have already in over like 5 or 6 different developments that have already said, like, yes, we want to utilize this, we want to use this. And in the article, it's quoted as some of the developers were like, this is not possible in this current real estate environment without this TIF.
Yeah.
Like, we just could not afford to do it. This new tax increment financing platform is actually replacing an old system that actually got the Jackstraw in a bunch of trouble. If you recall, about a year ago, or maybe more than that, gosh, it seems like that thing's been going on forever. There was an issue where, a lot of the businesses and a lot of people are like, why are they getting these big tax cuts when, we're not getting tax cuts? Why are they getting tax cuts? They're not building affordable housing. They're kind of like luxury condos in there.
Yeah.
Like that's, luxury retail, luxury condos going in there. Even really expensive apartments or whatever's going in there. Like, it's going to be, they don't need tax incentives. And to which the Jackstraw was like, look, we cannot afford to build this thing if we don't give us these things. So after that project and that tax incentive, now they're moving to this, and they have not received as much pushback on this new TIF platform, this incentive
People were all
platform.
up in a TIF, huh?
Yeah, they were all up in a TIF on the way it worked before. So that's really interesting. And again, this is a pretty complicated topic, but if you are a local in Bend, you probably got a notice in the mail 3, 4, 5 months ago, I think it was, about these new proposed TIF areas. And these aren't exactly the same as what this is. This is a area, but city is looking at 3 different TIF specific projects in which they're looking to raise money or have approved for that urban renewal. And we can talk about those later.
I mean, they've been talking about the urban renewal areas forever. And
this is the
tax
latest
benefits and all that kind of stuff that, for our clients, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, they've been really trying to bring up these certain areas.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. The core area, Bend Central District, this one right here in particular, I think is a really good one because, right along 3rd Street there, it's such a major area, yet it's tired.
It's tired. And there's a lot of older buildings that need some upkeep to it. And it's just like, it's hard to invest that into it when everything is so expensive.
Yeah. So if you're developing anything new on it, and this is how this chart actually kind of outlines how they do it, but basically they freeze the tax base. So whatever the tax base was there, that's the same money that's going to continue to go to the city with a new project. So, whatever that dirt was where they put the Jackstraw, for example, the dirt there, whatever was there before, it was like Spoken-Moto was there before, right?
Yeah.
Like whatever that tax came into the city, that's still going to continue to go into the city. But all of that new tax revenue that's coming out of that new development, which is massive, by the way, and this doesn't apply to this particular project because that was the old thing, but I'm just saying as an example, those new taxes would go to the development of this urban renewal stuff. So it doesn't raise anybody's taxes. It doesn't change anybody's taxes. It just reallocates particular money to particular causes.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of interesting. Talking about the Jackstraw, let's go ahead and move on to what's going in there. Tell us what's going into the Jackstraw over there.
Oh goodness. So they have a couple leases signed now. So there is the Dry Bar that's going in, which is like a beauty salon. And then Sisters Coffee Company. Yeah. Shout out to Sisters Coffee Company.
There you go.
They signed a lease to go in there. And then there was what was the third one?
No, it was just the 2. But what I thought was really interesting, actually, now that I'm here thinking about it, let me see if I can pull up
I wonder if Sisters Coffee Company, if this is just going to be another location, because they do have the old mill location, which they need more seating. So I hope this one has more seating because that's a really great place to go. Their bourbon latte is very good. Bourbon flavored, bourbon maple flavored latte or something like that.
Was it Sisters or was that?
Yeah, that was Sisters. It's good.
Okay.
There's no bourbon in it. It just,
Right. Exactly.
I'm not drinking bourbon in my coffee in the morning. We don't need any comments.
Hang on. I want to see this real here quick. This I thought was really interesting. I'm going to see if I can't pull it up. These new
renderings are
the
amazing.
New renderings
and it looks just like that.
Wicked cool. So this is the new rendering of the Jackstraw, and this is actually what it's starting to look like.
It's beautiful.
It really is beautiful. And this right here, these are all retail spaces down below.
Yeah.
This is all retail. And I've just got to say, like, again, so we've got Sisters Coffee going in there. We've got, what's it called? Dry Bar.
Dry Bar.
I have no idea. I had to ask them, what's a blowout? Because that's what they're known for. They do these blowouts. I don't, whatever. That's not my thing. I know it's not my thing. On our Instagram channel, people are just blowing it up. They're like, we don't need that fancy stuff. And other people are like, heck yeah, yes, please. I'm looking for I miss my blowout. So I don't know. But again, this is not it. Come on, where is it? There's another rendering, and it is just, what's this? Box Factory?
Box Factory.
Well, I know, but is it, where are the renderings for, it doesn't have it. Shoot. Okay, fine. I'll get out of that then. I'll let it go. They've got a rendering that shows that front, how it ties into the Box Factory. And there's going to be this big kind of pedestrian like walkway. I think it's going to be fantastic. I think it's going to be really cool. That's going to be a super hot part of town. It already is. That Box Factory there is already, super popular with the food trucks on the other side and Crosscut on the other side from that. I mean, like, that's a very happening area. And I think that it's going to further make that a really, really popular segment of town. So be on the lookout for that. And
so it's 313 unit mixed use condo project. So
yes, exactly. Okay.
They have 150 salons nationwide.
Yeah, apparently dry bar is a thing.
It is a thing.
We just don't know about it because we live in Bend, which I love. Okay.
Yeah.
So Jackstraw's got some new laces. Let's talk about some other interesting business news. Yeah. Do you know that CVS? Do you know that Oregon is the second worst state in the nation for pharmacy access?
I believe it.
You believe it?
I believe it. Yeah, because I saw this article and I was stoked because not that I frequent CVS's or anything like that, but pharmacy in town is a hard thing. Like the East Side Walgreens, like just closed down their pharmacy, and it's just there's not a lot of pharmacies. There's a lot of people. Everybody needs to have some pharmacy, and we have these locations and stuff. And Rite Aid was looking pretty struggle
busting,
and so I'm like, great, now we won't have these empty commercial spaces, which is great.
I guess we didn't really say the whole thing.
Anyways, CVS is taking over all the Rite Aids.
There you go.
There
it is. So CVS is taking over Rite Aid, and the reason, but here's the thing: this isn't just here in Bend. This is nationwide.
So they bought outright.
CVS is taking over all the Rite Aids nationwide. There's over 100 locations or something like that going on. So anyway, this is a symptom of an alarming trend in Oregon. Yeah, replacing. Yeah, exactly. Because we've got some of the worst pharmacy access in the nation, which is just kind of wild. So anyway, this is going on at the end of September. Apparently, it's not just like, again, this is a full takeover, from one business to the other. They're taking over all the Rite Aid locations. They're expanding. And so they're going to have this seamless takeover where, like, September, 26th, shuts the doors here at the Wagner Mall in Bend, if you're familiar.
Well,
and then the next day.
There's one down south, too.
Yep.
A Rite Aid.
All of them. They're all going to be
switched. The grocery outlet one.
I think that one's just going away altogether.
Oh.
Because there's one in Redmond, there's one in Bend, and there's one in Prineville. Now I don't know. Anyway, point is, yes, they're definitely going to change those over. Again, it's not super interesting news, but at least we have some new, pharmacy access coming, and they seem dedicated to making it work.
Yeah.
Where, like, as you said before, you could tell that Rite Aid was kind of on a slide there a little bit. So that's pretty interesting. What else are we going to talk about today? Oh, we've got development projects to talk about. Let's talk about some of those. The Ponderosa development south of town. We'll pull up a map here. Boom, 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 boom. If you have found yourself driving south on the Parkway, there is a little chunk of land. Let's see. This is the Deschutes River Woods exit right here, right? That goes over to Deschutes River Woods. If you come just back up north, there's all these apartment complexes that they've been putting in right here, right? And then right here is this new Ponderosa development. So there's going to be a bunch of homes going in right here. A lot of them are going to be deed restricted affordable housing, which will be really nice. But they are tearing this land up right now, pulling down trees, moving dirt around. They're getting ready for the infrastructure to put in this development right here. So that's one thing that's really interesting. Also, here's one that I actually found more interesting. And the only reason I find
how many homes are going into that Ponderosa one?
Oh, man, you put me on the spot. 128.
Oh, that sounds good.
That sounds about right. I've got it in notes somewhere. I just don't have it pulled up at the moment. Here's one that I found really interesting. Murphy.
This one is very interesting.
This one I think is really interesting. This chunk of dirt has been sitting here forever.
Yeah.
Now, again, this is, I took all the labels off. So this is Murphy going this way and 15th going this way.
That's right.
Oh, they can't see it. Shoot. Thank you.
So you can see the other one.
Here's Bend. Oh, dang. All right. Here's Bend. And this is 15th Street right here. This is Murphy coming across here. And this chunk of little Juniper Desert right here is about to be a new neighborhood known as Wildflower. So they're working on that. Now, this is mostly multifamily. There's a lot of
townhouses,
multiplexes, triplex, quads. There's even like big multiplexes, like condos, basically.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of the renderings. I put the renderings up before on our What's Happening Central Oregon. Instagram change, you can see some of the renderings, but they've got 4 or 5 in a row. Some of them have, 6 to 8 in a row. A lot of homes. This is one of the articles that I read said that this was this is the largest infill project in Bend right now.
Wow.
Which I cannot even believe that. I think there's like 512 units or something like that
Holy
going in,
moly.
which is wild. That they're fitting that many homes.
Yeah.
I know their multiplexes are going to be super dense, fitting that many homes into this little area. Plus, there's a lot of rock outcroppings in here. And I think the design has kind of forced them to retain some of those. So it should have some nice, kind of park access, some natural access to some of that. And then, of course, if you see this right here, you're not wrong. You've also comes with a free runway. So if you wanna fly in to your home,
I've heard that is the scariest runway.
What do you mean?
From people that I know that fly, that it is sketchy.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're landing right in a neighborhood.
I know, but it's like bumpy.
Anyway, that's kind of interesting. I guess here.
It is really cool because you can buy a house over there with a hangar.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This is the other one that we were talking about before. This is the DRW exit. This is up here on not Murphy, but what's this one up here? Shoot. Anyway, the development's right here.
Yeah.
This guy.
It looks like
right in. Oh my gosh, where am I?
It's right there.
This is the development right in here.
Because we showed a house right here, and you can walk out here. And it looks like people kind of made a little.
Oh yeah.
Run for their dogs.
Well, this will all be going away. They're tearing out the grass, tearing out the trees, tearing out everything, moving the dirt around. This is going to be actually, this is going to be.
I'm sure they have to save some trees. It's going to be Lennar.
This is going to be a Lennar development right here. Yep.
Oh, interesting.
I just heard today. Thanks, Dee. All right. Cool. That's that. What else do we have to talk about today? What else do you guys want to know about? If you want to know about something, a chunk of dirt development, throw it down in the comments, and we will look it up for you, and we will post about it. We will learn about whatever's going on. We do have a couple of other developments to talk about, but I think we're kind of at time. We can save that for a couple of weeks from now. Here's something that's kind of interesting. CNN, like, I don't know, the news, named Bend one of the best, the real news, not this shoddy podcast we're doing here. CNN named Bend one of the best places to visit.
Duh.
I know. It's almost not even newsworthy. We know.
I mean, it's like CNN just now caught up.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of interesting. All right. I think we kind of hit everything. Yep. I think we kind of hit everything. And we're right at the 32-minute mark. So we did it.
There you go.
High five. We did it. Boom. Thanks, guys, for listening. Thanks for watching. Again, seriously, if you have any questions on any developments that that are going on out there, you want to know about it, let us know. Throw us a comment down below. We love looking into this stuff. We've had a lot of people request stuff on the Instagram channel already. They're like, hey, look about this, look about that. Check this out. In fact, did we talk about the Deschutes Pizza Junction on this?
I don't think so.
It's going to be an auto zone. I don't think we did.
No.
It's going to be an auto zone, which is kind of weird.
Which is, yeah.
That's kind of strange. Sorry. Anyway, point is, if you know of a chunk of dirt and you want to know what's going on there, throw us a comment. We'll figure it out.
2 kind of projects that are pretty big that will be on the next podcast.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. 3 actually.
Yeah.
3.
But do follow the Instagram because that's 6 days a week.
Yep. New news all the time. Everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks so much. We got to run. We got to split. We will see you back here in 2 weeks.
Perfect.
For our next live version. Thanks, guys. And remember, if you and somebody you know is looking to buy or sell real estate, our team,
we're here for you.
We would love to be your local real estate resource of choice because, we know what's going on.
Exactly.
Thanks for watching.